I organized a small nonprofit research group primarily to go through the contents of Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop. And we took a long time to write a comprehensive report on it, 644 pages. I sent you a copy. It chronicles every violation of state and federal laws on the device. And that's why, as an attorney, I wanted you to go through it because it's really, like you said, cataloging precisely what he did wrong. So one of my pet peeves is people who talk about this, and a ton of people do, they very rarely provide specificity. So, we actually delineate between what is, quote, influence peddling, meaning uh, disgusting, immoral chumminess, but that which doesn't rise to the level of lobbying or FARA violations. And half of my year in 2022 was spent looking through the US code. And we reached out to every single pimp, hooker, drug dealer, and business partner of Hunter Biden, every single one of them, and to ask for their comment about the interactions they shared with Hunter that were revealed on the laptop and everything else. I'm a total nerd. So I'll sit with the thing and I'll go through every single email. And one thing your audience may or may not know of is that we've put all of the emails and photos online. BidenLaptopEmails.com has all of the emails. Everybody can go download them so that you have the original metadata, and everybody can go look at the photos. So we're really creating a permanent and this, I didn't know this when I was sitting down with it on October 31st, 2020, but it's beautifully come together, and that's thanks to the others on my team. But one of our goals is to create a permanent repository of this unbelievable data where you have FAR violations, money laundering, sex trafficking, solicitation, a conspiracy to commit bribery. I mean, these are direct from the statute language. I'm not extrapolating at all. You mentioned, David, some of the hate that has been spewed towards my group. None of it is ever substantive. It's at the bottom level of ad hominem attacks. It's just that they don't like how I look or how I speak or what I believe, but nobody will actually take apart the analysis we've done. And so it's supremely frustrating. By the way, not one email has been proven to be false. Not one. We put all of the metadata out there. It's all real. So when you go through these emails, they clearly show how they're an agent for a foreign principal. And remember, in America, all you have to do is declare the representation. You can be an agent for a foreign principal. All the DOJ requires through statute is to disclose who you're doing it for. But the reason why Hunter didn't want to do that is because if he did, people would start sniffing around. So he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. He wanted to get paid all this cash, but he didn't want to have to disclose. And so Hunter never stopped lobbying when his daddy became VP. That's an old myth perpetuated by NBC News. He just stopped registering. His lobbying became illegal. 10% for the big guy is a line out of an email from an English businessman named James Gillier. And it was a proposed equity breakdown for their joint venture with the Chinese company CEFC. And so that's the answer to the first question. But to the broader question, this is what Hunter did throughout. Joey's name is not going to be on the formation documents. When the Democrats and the leftists in the United States got their list of talking points from the Atlantic Council and CFR, figuratively, they said, well, Joey's name is not listed on any of Hunter's businesses. No, we're not alleging they're that dumb. The mob didn't even do that.
When you say Joey, you mean Joe Biden, right?
Yeah, the 46th right, fraudulent president. That's what his family calls him. Even 80s mobsters who owned pizza parlors as front companies and shipped people's index fingers to their enemies, they weren't stupid enough to put their names on the formation documents. It's like, well, I looked up a Delaware LLC and Joey's not on the list. No crap. What they did was very simple. Hunter was on the hook for Joey's living expenses. We straight up prove it. Emails prove that there was a joint bank account between Hunter Biden, Eric Schwerin, and Joey Biden. His firm paid for Joe's second iPhone, his burner phone, so Hunter could always get a hold of him. That phone was exclusively for Hunter and Joey. So if Hunter ever needed Joey's muscle in a pinch, he could get a hold of him, not have to go through the official White House channels. The Secret Service didn't harden the phone. It was a clear national security risk. It's probably bugged from multiple Five Eyes countries. Their operation was, like you said, Hunter was the bag man. So Joey's not going to be listed on the official documents, but Hunter is going to pay his living expenses, be on the hook for house payments and everything else. So Joey doesn't declare it on his taxes. Hunter doesn't declare it on his taxes. It's tax fraud because you got multiple thousands of dollars going to Joey every single year without declaring it as a gift. Joey's filing fraudulent returns, and we have him on this statute every single year because he releases those tax returns. So it's tax fraud. It is FAR violations. And because it's FAR violations, it's money laundering. And again, this is all laid out through emails, text messages, WhatsApp messages, pictures, screenshots, audio messages that Hunter used in the voice memos app on his iPhone, and videos. So it's not speculation. Let's go to page 199 is the subsection under business-related crimes. It goes unreported income and gifts. And it goes through entire emails of how Eric Schwerin had joint bank accounts. These were bills: $2,000, $2,600, $1,200, $1,400, $475, $969. Joint bank accounts at Wilmington Trust. This was all things that Hunter was to pay. Straight up. Would they say that in the email? So what it was an under-the-table arrangement. And that's why the left wing won't have me on. I've offered to Dan Abrams and all these people to have me on their shows is they don't want to get in the weeds. Because if you get in the weeds and read these English words in the emails, you cannot come to a different conclusion. Hunter was the bag man. This arrangement is proven by AT&T statements. And remember, Hunter was getting divorced in the end of 2016. And so we have his monthly auto pays breakdown because he has to produce this to his to-be ex-wife's counsel. So he's got to give an accounting. And so it's straight up. Joey is to get this money through what? House payments and joint bank accounts. It's through in emails.
No, and it's through the monies earned, procured to Hunter.
It's for an influence peddling firm. Hunter's business model was FARA violations. That was his business model. And because it's FARA violations, like the Manafort indictment, because it's FARA violations, all of it's laundered money. It is money derived from specified unlawful activity. When they took Manafort's homes and his cars and everything else, they used the statutes that we're listing here. So in the height of irony, they said Manafort was the crook. But in the same vein, the Bidens did the exact same thing. And unlike Manafort, everybody in the world can go online and read these emails and see how he didn't clear income. Oh, and here's another one. You know, Hunter accepting this is a conservative evaluation of the diamond, but an $83,000 diamond that he's never accounted for from a Chinese oligarch. And then he lied to his wife about the possession of said diamond during their divorce litigation. It's a carnival. We go through all the sex-related crimes. There's 191, and these are state and federal laws and regulations. Again, we have all of his text messages, all of his emails. So what we do for somebody who hasn't looked at the report, and the report is free to read online, bidencrimes.info, or our website, marcopolousa.org, they'll see the correspondence, some of the times the pictures of the sex act that Hunter was having with the female, and then the mode of transportation that Hunter Biden paid for the women. Uber receipts, Amtrak receipts, airfare. It's insane the amount of primary source evidence. Hunter would solicit them online, then get their contact information to put in the airline traffic fields. And then we have the email notification going to his burner account, droidhunter88@gmail.com, with the airfare. So there's no wiggle room here. In fact, we give him the benefit of the doubt in the case of Hallie Biden, who was his girlfriend. The thing that people are awed by is the amount of primary source evidence. So everything that you and I are discussing, like this situation on November 27th, 2018, This is not conjecture. You literally see with the genitals blurred out. You literally see the foot job with the airplane ticket in the report. There's no extrapolation. We say, for example, on page 254, and I won't, just hear me out. Minutes later at 11:05 p.m., Hunter solicited sweet cakes, and based on the female's text messages, Hunter submitted his phone number on a forum Sweet Cakes Used. This is her hooker name. She said, "Thanks for responding." After some logistical back and forth over rates, the female, whose code word was Brazil, directed Hunter to a now inactive website where he could examine several naked photos of the female, end quote, before deciding on next steps. So we literally have the URLs of these hookers' websites and profiles, Hunter patronizing those websites, and then we have the Wells Fargo email receipts proving that he paid them for sex. If they include a hyperlink to the dossier, it invites people to actually look at it and say, holy crap, that's a real text message. That URL actually existed. He actually did buy Amtrak tickets for his hookers and committed sex trafficking. At the same time, Hunter served as the vice chairman of Amtrak, appointed by George W. Bush. So the son of the president of the United States used the mode of the mode of transportation for sex trafficking that he was the vice chairman of.
So you have the financial crimes, you have the sex crimes. What's the third chapter of the report?
Drug-related crimes.
Okay.
Yes,
please elaborate.
The dossier in total details 459 violations of state and federal laws and regs. Right. So all the left-wing press now is saying Trump was indicted on 37 counts in Florida. We have 459 on the Bidens. And unlike the Trump case, there's no primary source evidence for his. Right. So we have primary source evidence. The drug-related crimes are included because Joey was the lead architect in the Senate of mandatory minimums for crack cocaine. So the very narcotic that Joey instituted mandatory minimums for was the narcotic his son abused. So it'd be one thing as a white guy from Wilmington for Hunter to be into powder cocaine. But no, at the height of irony, Hunter did the very type of cocaine that Joey put blacks in prison for a minimum of 5 years. We found in 2021, with the help of our friend Kenekoa, a wonderful clip of Joey on the floor of the Senate holding up, this is a lapel pin, but Joey was holding up a quarter saying, if you have a piece of crack cocaine the size of a quarter, you go to jail for 5 years. I'm talking like he did. I'm emulating him. And he said, judge doesn't have a choice. Well, apparently the judge or the prosecutors did have a choice with Joey's son, because we have 20 separate drug deals of crack cocaine with the U.S. president's son, and we put the name and number of the drug dealer. We put, in certain cases, sometimes the drug dealer was prosecuted and Hunter wasn't. So there's a drug dealer Hunter had named Eladio Diaz.
May I ask? I'm going to ask the question not for any racial reason, except to maybe internalize whether or not Joe is sending to jail minors while exonerating, sending minorities to jail while letting his son get off scot-free. Were these drug dealers ethnic minorities?
Almost exclusively. I'm going through my mind's eye. We have a couple of white guys, but they're Russians. They're immigrant Russians to the New York City area. So mostly it's blacks. Absolutely. This is the epitome of the unequal application of the law.